Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Fuksa. How are you guys today? I know I haven't talked to you in a little while, specifically. Having a little technical difficulty this morning. Sorry about that, guys. So I know I haven't talked to you specifically about thoughts and things I like to share. I've been sharing a lot of things with you from our Mary Kay annual seminar that was in Dallas, Texas. So I just got home late last night, and I've been thinking a lot about a lot of different things that I wanted to share with you guys. But first and foremost, a lot of times I'll talk to people about how I got to certain places or things that I did, and so I had a lot of awakening this week, and as those kinds of seminars do, but things I wanted to share with you guys that are just general things that we all talk about, and sometimes we just don't understand. So some of you know me, some of you maybe don't know me as well. My name's Connie Fuksa. I owned a title business for more than 30 years and sold it recently, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And when I did that, with owning a business, I had a brick and mortar business. I had a title company where we do home closings and work with realtors and mortgage companies and put all of the paperwork together for the process so you can actually own your home and your ownership is protected. Hey there, big brother. How are you this morning? But what I learned through a lot of that is a lot of people skills, a lot of business skills. But one thing I did learn, and you guys may or may not understand, if you don't own your own business, one thing that you maybe don't know is everybody thinks that the person sitting behind the desk in the corner office has all the perks. They get to come and go when they want. They have they make a lot of money. There's a lot of things that come easy for them. And so, first of all, let me just say to you, that's totally not true. They may have a little bit more free time sometimes in their life and other times not, because they've worked really hard to get to that point. But the things that are really tough about being a business owner, a brick and mortar, particularly business owner, is you have to make sure that you're making enough money to pay all those bills. If you have a a business that's specific to yourself, that's not a franchise, then you have to create all of your own literature, marketing materials, ideas, put people in your team that can create all of that stuff for you. And you have to create a culture within your organization. And, there's some amazing companies that have incredible culture. And then there's companies that the owner is struggling just to make sure that they bring in enough money to pay those bills, to put all of those pieces together to make sure that you and your family have dinner on the table and you and your family have health insurance and all of those perks. Excuse me, all this traveling, my throat's been really dry. All of those things that you need to make sure that you can survive. And so that business owner, although you may not see them sitting behind that desk every day, there's a lot of things that they're putting into that business to make sure that you can pay your bills and you can make sure your family is fed. Please excuse me. What I wanted to share with you today is one thing I learned this past week. Goodness, just definitely a tickle in my throat. One thing I learned this week that I really wanted to share with you guys is, excuse me, the kindness part of our world. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next with my life. You guys have to excuse me for 1 second to get a cup of water. Oh my goodness, how does that happen? Shoot, so sorry. So where were we? So one of the things that I was having trouble with after I sold my business is trying to figure out what I wanted to do next, because all I knew was title and how to take care of making sure my team was taken care of and making sure that my team was successful so that they could help you, other people, get some of that coffee, Connie. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly right. I didn't have anything right here next to me. So thanks, Robin. And thanks for tuning in. So one thing I did, I knew that I always had to do was I always had to make sure everything was taken care of. And so when I went to the next level, what I was trying to figure out is what could I do that I could still use all of those skills and make sure that I could help other people understand what that looked like and share, a lot of business skills, but a lot of interpersonal skills that I had found. And so This isn't an advertisement for Mary Kay Skincare, but what I did want to share with you is I was introduced to Mary Kay Skincare through a very good friend of mine, and I had been using it for a very long time, but I had never looked at the opportunity side of it. And without talking about the opportunity side, the business side of that, one thing I wanted to share with you is a culture. You know, when you get into a company, and Mary Kay is not the only company but that does this, but one of the things that I absolutely adore about this is I was able to transition from a business to another business, but now in this business, I didn't have to create all of those pieces and make sure that all of those pieces were in place for a successful team unit. They provide all of the marketing skills, all of the training. And one of the things that I liked best, and I wanted to talk to you guys most about this morning, is that the way that everyone interacts with each other. I'm going to tell you, for 5 days, and thousands of women and men there working together, getting in and out of classes at the same time, getting on buses to get back to their hotel, getting on buses to get to planes or from planes. Every time something let out, everybody was very kind to each other. No one was trying to trample each other. No one was trying to run in front of other people to get to the end of the line or the beginning of the line first. No one's trying to cut into the side of the line. Hey there, good morning, Brenda. No one was trying to push each other out of the way. And when we did bump into each other, everybody was quick to apologize or to look out for someone else. If someone was struggling, someone was quick to help. And so what I want to share with you guys this morning is I'm in awe of how thousands of people can get together without anybody telling them to and take care of each other. And, when I prefaced about the limits on what you can do and where your brain is, you are in control of what goes into your brain, and you're also in control of what comes out of your brain. I don't care what anybody tells you or what you think, what you wish for, what you want, what you see for yourself is what's going to happen. So as negative as you can be, that's what's going to come into your head. As negative as the people around you are, that's what you're being filled with, all of that negativity. And I really feel like, I didn't watch the news for 5 days. Well, I don't really watch the news anyway. So if you guys do, I'm sorry, but I just feel like it's a negative space for my head that I don't need. And if I need anything, it pops up on one of my, if there's an emergency of some sort, it does. I do have a pop up on my news feed, and all the rest of my family watches the news, so they tell me. But I didn't watch the news. I just surrounded myself with positive people that really wanted to do more and helping other people and being positive and successful. And success, it doesn't have to do with business. It has to do with your personal situation. How do you want to feel when you get up in the morning? How do you want to react when someone treats you negatively? I mean, I did have a situation where something was a little bit negative that happened to me, and I walked away and I thought about it, and I thought normally I would be thinking about it, talking about it, trying to get it out of my head. And instead, I decided that I really just needed to release it, and I walked away. And honestly, it's really not in my head anymore, but I wanted to share a snippet only because I want you to understand that you are totally in control of what goes in and what comes out. And I don't care how bad your situation is, how ugly it looks. This is where you are, and this is how you're going to change it by what you think, what you let go into your head, and the people that you let talk to you and put information in your head. Those are the things that control how you think and how you respond to stuff. And I have a tendency to be a very positive person. I try really hard, but when bad things happen, I learned this week to step back and think about it for a minute and put myself in the position where I really want to be. So, I get a flat tire. I joke about that. I have a really good friend, Aaron, who talks about if you have one flat tire, are you going to sit there and lament about that flat tire because you have 3 good ones? You don't have all 4 of them aren't flat. So what I want you to do is change your focus and think about what's going into your head and how you're going to respond to it. All right, so something bad happens. Sit there and think about it for a minute. How are you going to process it? What happened? How did you learn from it? And I'm talking about within 5 minutes, turn it right back off. If someone is in your ear giving you the business about something, tell them you're not interested in talking about it. It's not the way you handle things, and you can't help them in that situation. Now, if they are asking for your help and they're concerned, cool. Talk them down off the ledge, work on it. But if they're in your ear giving you the business about something that they're unhappy about with you or somebody else, tell them, hey, especially if they're talking about somebody else. I heard a great quote this week. if somebody's sitting there talking to you about somebody else and it's just wearing you out, when they take a breath, turn and look at them and say, hey, nice to talk to you, but that person's a really good friend of mine. And honestly, the conversation stops. And maybe they talk about that person to someone else, but they're not in your ear anymore. And so I'm not saying be rude to someone else, because I absolutely don't mean that. What I'm saying is you've got to put positive stuff in your head, and you've got to surround yourself with positive people. Even when the bad stuff happens, you're in control of what's going into your head, and you're in control of what's happening coming out of your head. So make your brain, that little computer in there, work itself to make yourself happy and yourself successful in where you're going to be next. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather we're finally having on the East Coast. I love talking to you. If there's something you want to talk about, message me, and I'd love to sit down and talk with you about thoughts that I have. Maybe you can share some things with me. I would really enjoy that. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday and a super weekend, and I'll talk to you again next week. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee with Connie. Bye-bye.